Good evening, everyone. Let's wait a few more moments before I know we are on. Let me see if I can see it. No, hold on. Oh yes, I'm on. We're on. Hello to everyone. Good evening. I hope you're all well. Thank you for being here. We are going to be together 1 hour this evening. Thank you that watching this later on. Thank you, British of Light International, and thank you, Life. Hello, Mariella. Yes, I know I'm on then. Hello, good evening, and this evening we are going to talk about spiritual and emotional autonomy. And as always, everything I say, it's no more, no less than my simple opinion. And this is an exchange, by the way, meaning we are all learning from each other. So, hey Evelyn, hello, how are you? So, hello Lella. So I would like you, each one of you, if you want, you don't have to, but please write what does autonomy means to you? And then I'll tell you what I think autonomy is, and then we are going to go on and talk about spiritual and emotional autonomy. I chose this topic because I think it's to reach a state of spiritual and emotional autonomy. It's let's say a high state of consciousness to be in, because when we are emotionally autonomous and spiritually autonomous, means that we are not conditioned, we are not dependent on outside source of authority. Because to be autonomous means to be self-legislated. That was the original meaning of the word. Mean to be able to govern oneself freely from conditioning. Meaning we are not bound by morals anymore, we are not bound by rules or regulations. We are adhering and following our own rules or regulations, if we have any. Mariella said, I think, I feel, I am, I do. Thank you, hello, Luigina. So is there autonomy for you, what it is for you? Is that you think, you feel, you are, and you do. And Evelyn, I don't know if you're here, but if you like to tell us something, or if you ever want to pop up, you know, for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour to say hello, you are always welcome too, as you know. And by the way, I miss you. We've been together for a few days and now we are not physically. Evelyn say, thanks for that explanation. I didn't know what it was. I've learned something new today. Oh, I'm glad. Yes, you see, I normally, and I'll tell you why I chose autonomy instead of independence. Autonomy and independence, they are quite similar words in toward the fantastic. Yes, you tell me what. Come on, towards the end. Beautiful. Yes. Okay. Independence means to not depend on anybody. Okay, to be self-reliant, and so does autonomy in a way. But I chose autonomy, emotional autonomy, because I think we could. The word independent may imply, for some people anyway, that we are independent. We are not dependent on others. We are not dependent on anything else. We are almost like isolating ourselves. While when we are autonomous, I feel we can still be dependent on others. For example, if we are in a very close relationship with somebody, in a relationship with anybody really, we are dependent on them on many things. Let's say maybe we live with them, we share things. So of course we can never be truly independent. Although while we are depending on one another in different ways, we are always, if we choose to exercise this power, and this is when we get to the point, to the nitty-gritty of the matter, we can be autonomous, even being independent, meaning being dependent to somebody, meaning we are governing our own inner world, and by inner world I regard my emotional and of course also my spiritual world. Hello Chiara, great seeing you here. I don't know if it makes sense, meaning I could be bound, I could have a strong bond to you, okay, to you that are watching. We could be very strongly bonded together, although my decisions and my emotions are not dictated by what you do or what you don't. Okay, I am autonomous in a way that I don't allow you. I might take it into consideration what you do, what you don't do, and what you say or what you don't say. Although my ultimate choice or my emotional well-being, it's not dictated by you. I am the one that autonomously can choose, and I may sometimes maybe choose that you choose for me, but it would be my autonomous choice. It would be a conscious. Yes, in this context, I would say that autonomy, it's as if in conscious. Whenever we make a decision, we are conscious of it. We do it autonomously. But we could be also aware of the fact that we are dependent on one another. I don't need to isolate myself to say, oh, I am independent. I don't know if I make sense, because although it's a very subtle difference, the difference is very subtle, it's not huge between being independent and being autonomous. Now, please, this is a question and I would like the answer. Would you say, or would you regard yourself being emotionally autonomous? Would you declare, yes, I am emotionally autonomous? What would you say? Oh, thank you, Mariella, for sharing something. Autonomy, emotions, I feel on my own, especially when I'm alone. Independence, when I feel some emotions, even if the most number of people think or feel in different ways. Thank you for making these distinctions. So autonomy and emotion is when you feel you're on your own, especially when you're on your own, okay? That's when your definitions of being autonomous. And independent, when you feel some emotions, even if the most of other people think or feel different ways. Thank you, Mariella, for letting us know. Hello, May. How are you? May, I don't know if you were here before or maybe you just popped in and out. But hola, ¿qué tal, guapa? ¿Todo bien? If you've just appeared, if you just arrived, May, this is the question I'm asking you, but everybody. But I'm trying to get some interaction here because otherwise it's not alive. Otherwise I could well just record myself and put it on. May, would you, if I ask you, are you emotionally autonomous? Would you say yes, no, it depends? But everybody, not just for May. I say May because I know she's here and I know she's not scared or shy of writing something. But I do understand some of you might be driving along or maybe the shopping and you just put your phone down and you see, who's this? Oh, look, I'm in a live, and there we go. But but if you can answer. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking. But I love when everything gets live, meaning when we are connected. Thank you, Chiara. I think I'll never be emotionally autonomous. Thank you, Chiara. And why do you say that? What makes you think you'll never be emotionally autonomous? Hello, mate. So, being emotionally autonomous, to me, it means to not allow outside circumstances or other people to choose how we feel emotionally. So, meaning being in a place of emotional autonomy, it would mean to be able to choose which emotion we are feeling in every given moment. Not easy, I know, much easier said than done. But one thing that I would dare saying is that, and I guess that is really the aim of personal development, spiritual development as well, is to be able to be at least in a state of peace, meaning we are not really thrown about, we are not really getting angry or upset when something happens or doesn't happen, or when people behave or not behave in certain ways and tell us or don't tell us something. Let's see what May is writing. May says, I would say yes, I think we can be autonomous when we stay in our own power, but we give away our power and get triggered. I totally agree, and we'll expand on it. Chiara says, I can never be, you were saying, you could never be emotionally autonomous because I'm afraid, because I'm afraid of people's expectations. Right. And may say, react less and respond more is the aim. Oh, this is what I love. We've got some kind of discussion going on. And Evelyn is saying, this is a very good question. You have me thinking. I believe I may be independent now. I think. I like that. I think. Smiley face. Hey, hello, Marita. Hello, how are you? You think, yes. But yes, okay, going back to what Chiara and May have saying. And Evelyn, yes, I think you are getting more and more autonomous. Yes, what is determining the fact that we may not be emotionally autonomous is exactly what Chiara wrote. It's because of other people's expectations. Okay, but this is the important question. Do you value more doing what you truly feel and want to do, regardless of what people expect from you? Or do you regard and value more and you feel it's more important to behave as people expect you to behave? And so that means to do things that you don't really feel like doing, or not doing things that you feel like doing. You see, I truly believe that it's not a matter of good or bad, better or worse. It's a matter of choice, you know. Although I think that honoring what we truly feel like doing without caring too much about people's expectations, I would say that it's an healthier way of living, right? It's a more organic way of living. And when we are not autonomously making choices about how we feel emotionally, then it's not really healthy, because we may end up doing something we don't want to do just because other people expect us to behave in a certain way, or we don't do what we would like to do. And you know, sooner or later, we will pay the consequences of that. May says, awareness is the key. People push our buttons, but they didn't install them. I love them. So an opportunity to clear something. So an opportunity to clear something in ourselves. Yes. Yes. People push our buttons, meaning people trigger us. People make up, maybe they say something that we don't like, or they do something that we don't like, and we get emotionally disturbed. So we lose our autonomy, don't we? Because we give our power away. The reason why I asked you at the beginning, do you think you're emotionally autonomous? And we know when we are emotionally autonomous, when other people are not able to push our buttons anymore, or when situations are not able to throw us emotionally all over the place. In other words, we are autonomous when we honor the one thing that I truly feel and believe that connect us all, meaning we are here to live peacefully. We are here to enjoy life, at least to be serene. So every time that we lose our peace of mind and heart, meaning every time we are emotionally upset, we are not autonomous. We are giving our power away. We allow something else or somebody else to trigger us. And like May wrote, awareness is the key, meaning we can actually use to our advantage the situations that trigger us, they make us feel upset, and we could even thank and regard them as being, because they are big masters for us, people that they push our buttons, because they are the one that gives us the opportunity to know ourselves at a deeper level. Because I love this sentence, I'll repeat it again. Because people, yes, they push our button, but they did not install the buttons. The button was installed by our past experiences, by our script, by something that we told ourselves about something that happened. Or maybe we had a traumatic experience somehow. So because of that, again, that's it, a script has come in existence, meaning we told ourselves, for example, I'm not worthy of doing this or that. So whenever we are in a situation and somebody reminds us of our negative script, we get angry, we get upset. But let me read more. I hope I gave I could understand what I meant. Hello, Julia. Macy, yes, strong people pleaser. It's okay, but he choose. Yes, strong people pleaser. It's okay, but he choose. Okay. Now, May is mentioning being a people pleaser. That's it. A people pleaser is somebody that is not emotionally autonomous, because a people pleaser, it's always on the lookout for what other people want, because he wants to please them, because all of us, we want to be loved first, but we confused, and also we want to be appreciated. But the reason why I think we could be pleasing others, despite of how we feel, it's because we have confused appreciation with love. In other words, I tell you what I mean by that. When we were growing up, when we were very little, normally, this is how my parents were talking to me, but I guess this is like a universal kind of thing that parents told to their kids. They were saying something of this kind to me. Okay, Luca, I don't care what you think and what you want and how you feel. This is bad, it's not good, it's wrong, you must not like it, and I don't care if you actually do like it, but you must not like it, and if you do this, you are bad, I don't like you, and I don't love you, and I don't give you my love, okay? And then they would say, regarding something else, okay, Luca, again, I don't care what you do, what you feel, what you think about this. This is good, it's right, and you must like it and you must do it. And if you do it, you are good and you are worthy of my love, and I give you my love, okay? But now these guys, of course, parents were doing this with all good intention. They were doing because they truly loved us. But that is not love, that is control. We learned at a very young age two very damaging things. We learned control and conditionality, meaning we learned very early that to get something or not getting something, it was conditional to how we were behaving. So we learned conditionality. And then we learned also we were controlled by our parents, because of course, if we're doing what they want us to do, they were giving us the treat, the carrots, it's okay? They were patting us on our back, they would say, good, well done, bravo, okay? This is appreciation, okay? But it's not true love. And if we were not doing something, that were using the stick, they were punishing us, but not giving us our attention, right? So we learn control. But also what's important, that we were controlled, but we also learned at a very young age how to control others and how to manipulate them. Why? Because we learned very early that according to how we were behaving, we could emotionally control our parents. Can you see that? Because if we were behaving in ways they liked, they were happy, so we were manipulating them. If we were behaving like they didn't like, they were angry. So we learned how to be puppets, but we learned also how to manipulate and make puppets of other people. Do I make any sense? But I want you to hear what let's say a healthy way of talking to a young kid would be from a parent. Okay, this is from a space of unconditional love. Okay, Luca, you are perfect and beautiful as you are, regardless to what you do. I love you unconditionally. Okay, now be mindful that if you behave in certain ways that I personally don't like, and I don't think they're good ways of behaving, and I'll tell you why. Because these behaviors are not good for you and for anybody else involved in your life, and the consequences of the action of this kind. But also, I would like to know, Luca, your opinion on this, what you think and how you feel about this, okay? So let me tell you, when you behave in these ways, it is, although I love you, it won't be easy for me to show you and express the love that I feel for you, okay? And then, Luca, be mindful that if you behave in this other way, which I personally regard as being productive and good, because the consequences of this behavior, they produce positive outcomes, beneficial outcomes for you and for everybody involved. So but I like also to know how you feel about this, what you think about this. And when you behave like this, it will be easier for me to express the love that I feel for you anyway. Can you see the difference between the two ways of interacting with a kid? And by the way, a kid, especially a kid until he reaches 7 years old, hasn't got critical faculties. His mind is literally like a blank computer that is programmed. Okay, so going back to being emotionally autonomous, it's very difficult to be emotionally autonomous and not becoming, like May wrote, people pleaser. If we have been taught that if you behave like this, I like you and I love you. If you don't behave like this, I don't like you, I don't love you. I hope I was clear enough. Oh, Evelyn says, I have no heat on expectations. No need on expectation. No heat on expectation. Oh, thank you. Are you saying you haven't got any expectation? Yeah, if you have no expectation, Evelyn, that's it. Chances are you are emotionally autonomous. Because if you don't expect anything from others, you live being very present, you live for a moment, and you live in a peaceful state. It's when we have attachment, when we have expectations on others, or if we fell into the trap or wanted to fulfill others' expectations, then we are not autonomous. Then we are always mindful of how we behave, but it's not our choice, the way we behave or think or feel. Evelyn says, I lived a life for far too long for the good of others. Ah, you were a people pleaser as well. Yes. Well, it's very common to wanting to please others, despite of how we feel. You know how I used to be. I wasn't really in the past. I wasn't so much of a people pleaser. And I'll tell you why, because I was more of a rebel. And also because I was brought up in a family where I could, even if I was pleasing my parents, they wouldn't really appreciate it. Okay, so it's a personal skill that I haven't developed so well. And so what did I do? I started to rebel, but this rebel energy, or this unsatisfying sensation that I have, I couldn't numb it by pleasing others, because people pleasing, it's almost like a compulsion. So somebody that is people pleasing is like, let's say, they're drugs, they're addicted to pleasing people. Because I couldn't develop the skill, and I tell you what I mean in a moment, because people that they, before they, let's say, woke up spiritually and became autonomous and emotionally, if they were people pleaser, they have learned something really, really valuable in a way, because they know, because it's a skill, it's an art. You can tell what people want, and you can then even when you wake up, it doesn't mean that you're not, you keep pleasing people, but you're very mindful of what people want. Now, that is a skill that I personally had to learn, and I'm still learning now, but I didn't learn it when I was a kid. So people pleasing for me was not cutting it. I couldn't get my fix for pleasing people. But where was I getting my fix? From drugs, from drink, but from drugs mainly. Okay, that was my addiction. So anyway, I just want you to reflect on this. And I find with people that they have addictions, normally they're people, of course I'm generalizing, but they didn't come from families where they could develop, which is an art really, develop the skill of people pleasing. Normally they were brought up in families where they couldn't learn that skill, meaning, but I'm asking you, May and Evelyn, I guess your parents, from all their faults, maybe one or both of them, they were quite kind, quite loving to you. You know what I mean? I guess they were, okay, by pleasing them, you were getting what you wanted. You were getting that affection, you were getting that love. Okay? In my case, when I was very, very little, yes, with my mom, we had a wonderful relationship. But then, because she wasn't well, and my father, because of his personality, I couldn't even please them, okay? So I was getting filling my void, so to speak, with substances, and not with appreciation. Anyway, I keep on moving because I don't want to go on and on too much about this. May says, yes, strong people pleaser, but we can choose. Yes, we can choose, absolutely. And we can choose when we become aware of what is going on. Meaning, I think once we know, for example, that we have the tendency of pleasing people, we are already halfway through the journey of freedom, aren't we? Because awareness in itself, it's probably the first most powerful thing we can acquire, because then, of course, if we choose to be mindful of it, we can then see and notice when we are pleasing others, when we are not being autonomous and honoring what we truly feel. Thank you. Mariela says, I do all I do, thinking on my own, without expectations, judgments, or any form of mental social dependence. Wow, that's wonderful, Mariela. Then I would say, yes, you are emotionally autonomous. And I would think when we are emotionally autonomous, we are also spiritually autonomous. And by spiritually autonomous, I mean, we are not believing blindly in, let's say, religions or in something dogmatic that comes from outside, which in that case we are not autonomous, okay? Being spiritually autonomous, I regard it as knowing in ourselves who we truly are, and knowing, being aware maybe of the connectedness of all of us, that we know, we are aware of the fact that we are all one, but we know that we have the power. Let's say we are a divine localization of life, meaning of the creative energy. So meaning I am autonomous, I am aware that I can create whatever I choose to create, which is different. And in that case, I wouldn't be spiritually autonomous if I was believing that I haven't got, and some people believe that I don't have a power on my own, that I have to depend on a God, which is, or a divinity, which is outside from me, which is a power that controls me and directs me, but I can't choose, okay? But I think that being spiritually autonomous means that, yes, there is maybe a higher power. Yes, there is energy. I mean, we are all connected. There is something bigger and greater than me, and maybe that knows more than me, although I can choose. That power is not controlling me. It's not judging me. It's not punishing me. It simply is. It's the creative power that I autonomously choose to use in whatever way. But also, I think it's important to keep in mind that subconsciously, I think some people choose to be spiritually dependent and not being autonomous. And you know why? Because with power, with autonomy, and autonomy means power, and you know the power is a great power because it's the power of self-governing oneself and your will and so on and so forth. With that power comes responsibility, and some people don't want responsibility. You know, it's much easier to say and to think, oh, I don't know, it's divine will, it's the, you know, the will of God, or the devil made me do it. It wasn't me, I didn't choose it. Do you see what I mean? And some people really play that card because it's easy. Because the moment I say I am autonomous, oh boy, I'm responsible. So you can then turn around and tell me, hey Luca, what the heck is going on here? What did you do? You see, I can't play the card, it wasn't me, or say, oh, well, I did it because, and I have to give you a good reason for it. Anyway, let me keep going. Hello, Anna Rosa. Evelyn says, and when I started living a life of I love, it still turned out good for others. Thank you so much for pointing this out. Yes, this is very important. Some people believe that if they are autonomous, meaning if they are not fulfilling other people's desire, if they're not pleasing other people, they would piss them off. Meaning, if I became autonomous and live a life I love, I would make other people angry. They won't like me or they won't love me. No, nothing farther from the truth. Thank you, Evelyn, for reminding us of that. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. When we live a life we love, we can then love others in a more appropriate way. Because I give you an example. Let's say I was actually, my life was like this. I wasn't really as happy as I am now, not even near. So do you think I had time and the presence and the emotional energy to give to other people in my family? No. Even when I was trying, I wasn't there. It wasn't real. It wasn't pure. I had too much going on in myself that wasn't in order. I wasn't happy. Now it's a different story. Now, if I give time and energy and love to somebody, it's pure. They feel it and they are happy because of it. Do I make sense? So yes, and also when we honor ourselves, when we are autonomous and we live the life we love, we also directly or indirectly give the permission and inspire others to do the same. Do you see what I mean? We live still, I would say, 2020, but still, most of the population still has this negative mental attachment regarding, oh no, you shouldn't be too happy. You know, you should please others. You should, suffering is good. You shouldn't really follow what you really feel like doing. But no, it's not like that. If you really want to help others and love others and please others, ultimately, please yourself first, meaning, of course, without harming anybody else, without stepping on anybody's feet, but do what you love, and then you can truly inspire and love others. So thank you, Evelyn, for reminding us that. And May says, people who push our buttons are our greatest spiritual teachers. Absolutely, yes. They are our true masters. True masters. They make us work on ourselves. So let's think of all the people that we think, oh my gosh. And let's just for a second now, split of a second, let's give them thanks. Let's think of them and say, okay, thank you. And let's see if next time when they push our buttons, hopefully we remember of this and we go, okay, wait a moment. Or maybe next time, because they've energetically felt our thank you, maybe they'll be different to us. Anyway, hello Paola. Hey, hello Simo. Hello Lucia. Hello Doris. Ciao Silvia. Mariella says, no judgment, no thought, no action, no circumstance different from our mental, emotional way of living can make me feel under pressure of or submitted. I choose to be out of the cruise, not to conform myself to general mentality. I see. It's a very, very, very clear statement of no one else, nothing else can influence myself. I choose to be out of the crowd, I thought you meant to say, out of the crowd, not to conform yourself. Yes, that is a statement again of autonomy, meaning no peer pressure. You guys do what you want, you say what you want, but I am not being conditioned by it. Yes, easier said than done. Mariella, tell us, has it been easier for you? Have you always been like this, or did you have to work to get there? I'm curious to see that. Because you know what, everything that we talk about, or that I talk about, I always like to underline that some things are easier said than done. It's a journey, but it doesn't matter. Baby steps are very, very important. As long as we go towards the direction where we want to go. Today we are talking of being autonomous. So everything we can do to go towards being more autonomous, it's a great achievement. Hello, Daniela. Mariella says again, in a classroom, The taller is always judged in a wrong way. In a family, the first child has all the responsibilities for the others, brothers or sisters. I can continue. Yes. Normally, this is what we feel. The taller is always judged in the wrong way. In a family, the first child is all the responsibility for the others. Yes. Yes, these are almost assumptions that we all have. And we all obey, so to speak, according to this. Yeah, and there's so many, as you say, I could continue. There's so many others assumptions, so many other mental structure that we have about how things should be. Evelyn says, I was going to join you, but I can seem to get the comment and the live connect with the phone on its side. Is your phone landscape? My phone is on landscape, yes. I was going to join you, but I can't seem to get the comment. And the live connect with the phone, it's on its side. My phone is put flat. It's like this, my phone. It's not like this, it's like this. Yes. Mariella says, there you are. Aspetta. Okay, while you come on, Evelyn, I just want to write, I read it. Mariella says, these situations in a long time create frustration and problems of self-esteem. So we must be brave, believe in ourselves, in our thoughts, feeling, choices, and so on. Absolutely. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to be strong. Hey, hello, Evelyn.
Good, I figured it out.
You did, fantastic. You are the wizard here. You know, I still don't know how to get people on. Like, I don't know how I could get you on unless you say I want to come on. I still haven't worked it out.
Well, it's easy enough. No, but what happened was I had my phone like this and it wasn't giving me the option, you see.
Yes.
But so I had it like this and hit send. And then when you accepted me, it said now rotate. So it gave me the option. So I joined that way and rotate. So it's something new. Maybe they're changing stuff. Anyway, I'm here.
Wonderful. Yeah, well done. I'm glad to see you here. So this is the time when we see each other on the screen again.
I know. I miss you.
Yeah, me too.
That's a lovely topic that you're having today, because I was having to think. I was going about the kitchen going, now, let me think about that.
I don't know. But I like making, people think and see. And I you know what I love? I love people sharing their opinions. And sometimes people have different opinions, which I think it's amazing, because I truly believe there is no right or wrong, good or bad, better or worse. It's just, I may have an opinion which is different from your, Evelyn, which is different from May or from Mariella. And to see and read other opinions, it really opens me up. If I think, oh, wow, I didn't think of it.
I was speaking to someone last night, someone in their 50s, and they were just saying that they do have trouble sleeping because their head is just constantly, there's like a block there, but it's all past stuff, that's there. And it's almost, they were saying, as if they're waiting on permission to start living their life. When they figured it out, they said it's like almost like I'm waiting on permission from maybe somebody that's passed away, a sibling, to feel the guilt, or he said it's like I'm waiting on permission to start life, guilt and all of them things.
Absolutely, yeah, that's totally non-autonomy, emotional and spiritual autonomy. Yes, and I would even say that when somebody is in that state, it may well spring from a spiritual not autonomy. Really, meaning they deeply believe that in like an outside deity that it's ruling them, so to speak. I don't know if it makes sense, because I truly think that how we feel emotionally and how we think, it's really spring from our spirituality.
Do I make sense?
And
So even if people, they never...
that does make sense, because
Right.
that was where religion was a kind of forced,
Mm,
where they turned their
exactly.
back on a lot of things. But now I do believe they are awakening up to a simple tip was that I says, when those things keep going over and over, I says, should you have to sit up all night to keep affirming, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. And they said it does help, you know, to, what the truth is rather than what the false belief, a fear, just, you know. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, Luca.
Yes, it's very complex if we want to go deep into it. Uh, Let me just read the comments, and also I if you want to comment on this, that'd be great. Mariela says, I always use this expression when I am out. Oh my God. Oh my God. I do as well. And you know what, guys, but and also Evelyn, tell me if you never met people. I know people, right, that they would declare that they don't believe in God, they don't believe in anything of a religious kind, of spiritual kind, but they cursed right, left, and center, you know, in a like they mention, they swear using the name, like, let's see, of Christ, and they use the word God very much, if you know what I mean, which it makes me laugh. It's almost as if subconsciously uh, they deny, or they say what they consciously, and they deny what subconsciously, that meaning there's a contradiction there. Anyway, sorry, I'm going off topic, but just for about my God. And Mariela then also says, first, when I was younger, I had to understand this mechanism. Now I have understood after many years of delusion. Ah, Mariela, you're answering now to the question, have you always been emotionally autonomous, or did you become? And yes, you have become. And what about you, Evelyn? Would you say that, have you always been, let's say, more autonomous and independent emotionally, or you have become,
I became.
you became,
I think the became come with the awakening. The
mm-hmm.
remembrance, the remembering, I think I became with true remembering.
Yes, yes.
Definitely
So
not,
would you
because
say, yeah, go on.
it was always, I suppose, because would it be big round here, you know, what will the people say about you? The people will be talking about you. So tiptoeing or doing stuff to not hurt people, but ultimately taking the pain is for your own good. It's for your own
Yeah.
good. It's like whenever we were small and my mother on a Saturday night would run the hairbrush and would, you know, and she'd always say, you have to be cruel to be kind.
Fantastic. She was stretching the elastic one hand so you could go the other hand. It makes sense,
Uh-huh.
though.
You have to
It
be
makes
cruel to
sense,
be
though.
kind. And that's what we grew up thinking. You have to be cruel to be kind.
There's a lots of depths in it. I mean, or maybe she was just justifying the fact that she was hurting coming in your head, but it's ah, yeah, go.
Yeah.
Mariela says, I prefer to do wrong on my own, thinking on my own, instead of doing wrong, uniforming my thoughts to others. Ah, fantastic. Yes, I totally agree. Yes, if we are gonna do something, do it in style and do it from your choosing. You do some mistake, but yeah, and I think when we do something that then we realize it's wrong, but we chose, we autonomously did we are more likely to learn from it, aren't we? That if we do it, but we did it because somebody else wanted us to do it,
Mm-hmm.
then it would
Isn't
become
that
really
where all
complicated.
the habits come out of when we're younger too? Hanging out with whoever we're hanging out with, perhaps the crowd you would have hung out with. It was cool to smoke.
Yeah. But yes, that is a classic example of not being autonomous, isn't it? I mean, if I well, I don't know. I wonder, for example, me, I don't know if I would ever, if I would have ever started to smoke, if it wasn't because I wanted to, because I started to go out with my brother and his friend, and they were all 3 years older than me. So I was 12 years old, they were already 15 and all smoking. So because I wanted to be accepted, I did what they were doing, but it wasn't my choice, you know. Then again, there goes the pleaser. Sorry.
Actually, as I remember my sister, she would have said at school, it was better to run with the bullies than be bullied. So that's, you know, what people's thinking was too. But then regrets later on in lifetime, but at that time it felt the safer place to be.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, because we have a strong, very strong innate need to belong, of belonging. It's almost like a tribal, ancestral need that we have, that is still ingrained in our reptilian brain, that says if you are on your own, if you're not with your tribe, if you go out of the cave, you're gonna be in trouble. You know, there's gonna be lions and tigers, and you have to hunt for yourself, and so on and so forth. But if we think about it, nowadays, we could literally, I'm seriously, allow ourselves to say no if we don't want to do something, if we don't want to please anybody all of the time. Because, I mean, there's no lion outside, right? That is going to attack us. We don't have to go and hunt for food. And yeah, if nobody, well, if you really didn't know mates, I don't know how fun life would be, but but you don't need to belong to a particular group to survive, do we? But
I know. It's being different, that label too, that you're different, or, you know, or that you're doing something different than someone else. It is fear, isn't it, that keeps people doing what they do, and the fear of being lonely. Why people stay where they stay.
Yes, yes. The thing is, though, I think if until and unless we become spiritually and emotionally autonomous, I don't think that anyone else or anything else can fill the void that we think it would be filled by other people company. What do you think? Because it would always be, we would want others, because I was one of them. That's why I say this, because we need the relationship, we need friendship, but it's a need. It's not a pleasure. It's a big difference, isn't it?
100% agree. 100% agree, and that's what it is. And you can witness that for people. There's like a needy vibration, and the same thing too. The needing to be loved, to be wanted, which and operates in a very low vibration. But as you say, once you come into that autonomy or that recognition, that awakening, it's magic, isn't it? It's just and it's just taking yourself to there. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You know.
Absolutely, it is magic. You're right. I think yes, and there is something truly magic in becoming autonomous, in realizing that we are the source of everything. We don't need nothing outside from ourselves. That is incredible. But okay, the paradox is here. By the way, bye, May. Enjoy your session. She says she has to run and meet a client. Thank you for being with us, May. Love you. But anyway, okay, this is the paradox. If we want something, the very act of wanting it, that energy pushes it away. I'm saying to the energy, I need it, I don't have it. Now, when if I don't want anything, it literally, there's nothing I want, nothing I need, if I'm autonomous, it's magically, all the possibilities are there. It's like, everything is there. Why? Because I'm vibrating as if I have everything, right? And as you say, but then from being autonomous, not being, I don't need the love of anybody. I have the love I need. I am joyful. I am peaceful. then that energy, most probably, you know what we do? We go out from us and we'll materialize what we feel. Isn't it amazing? And then we will materialize somebody to give love. And then because we were truly giving love, most probably and autonomously, who we manifest is gonna be in the same, vibrating in the same way. So it's not a need relationship, it's a autonomous relationship. Total different story.
I've witnessed that too, Luca, in a few things for myself and for others. It's almost like a reincarnation on this earth in the same body years later. But you get to experience the same thing again. I call it the 360, but at a different level. It's happened to me a few times where I think, did somebody just lift me and put me back in? But now I'm a completely different being. And I see that in others, that they're changed. I've seen this for a good few people. We get to experience it again, but now at a completely different level. It's like there's no timeline. It doesn't exist. And you're like, where did I just go?
Yes. You say two things that really struck the chord for me. You said before that when you wake up and when you remembered, which it really makes sense and connects with what you're saying down, that it's something that you have lived before and you lived again. Yes, which it makes me think, and we're gonna leave all one of us just pondering on this. But I'll ask you, we have still 1 minute, so take your time, Evelyn. Do you think then that, but for everybody also at home, do you think that to become or to be spiritually autonomous and emotionally autonomous means we are achieving something, or we're just remembering something?
And I feel that, see, when you just say those words that we're remembering, honestly, it's like that guy you had on the other night doing the frequency. When you even say those words to remember.
Yes, Salvo.
I felt it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's home, isn't it? You're just going home.
Yes, wonderful. And I have to say, I also something that inspired me very much. It's your books and what you do, seeing you talking in your lives and all that, because it is when you want to live effortlessly and create the life you want, you have to be autonomous, don't you? You have to really ask yourself, what is it that I feel? What is it that I want? Otherwise, we couldn't manifest, could we? We can't. Other people can't do it for us.
Do you know what it's quickly like? I like using my metaphors. If you ever have your ear pierced and you haven't wore an earring in it in a while, and you're trying to put the earring through, and there's that bit of skin, that's what it feels like. You just have to break through. It's there. It's all, even though the hole hasn't been used in a while, it's still there. You just have to break through. I know this is right.
Wonderful. It makes sense. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mariela. Yeah, Mariela says it's the second one. We remember. Very good. Oh, guys, we have to go. It's 7:00. Evelyn, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Lee. Bye. Thank you, everyone.
I love you. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.